Last year, on a trip to Japan, I visited Pachimon Wars, which is a bar with a knockoff Star Wars toy theme. I had a lot of fun there and talking with the owner, and I made a whole video about it. If you're interested in seeing that, I probably would recommend you look at that first. But while I was there, I picked up a Hawaiian shirt with some very interesting artwork of bootleg Star Wars figures, or Star Wars characters, I guess I should say, on it. Have some it looks like the kind of thing that you might see on the card art for just a bootleg figure. So anyway, I was very interested when I saw a few months ago that they had started offering gashapon capsule toys of those same characters. They're basically soft vinyl, little almost finger puppets of the characters, and at that point, I think you could only get them by going to the bar and actually physically operating the machine, but they soon after that started offering remote gacha, so-called, where you could have them basically spin the machine for you, and then you'd have them send the resulting toys to you. That originally, I think, was only for people in Japan, but I was contacted a little bit ago by them because I had inquired about it, and they said they're finally going to start offering it to international people. So I took that opportunity to get some myself. I had them, basically, I said I wanted to do it until I got a complete set, or until it reached 16 figures. They recorded the whole thing for me. As you can see here, they have all of the toys coming out so you can see what they are and make sure that, they're not doing anything fishy or anything like that. But yeah, it was pretty interesting to watch them all come out. I got, I think, a pretty decent selection. It did turn out that I got, I did do all 16. I didn't get a complete set within the first 16, but I got within one. And it just so happened that, well, I'll tell you in a minute, but it turned out that in the end I do have a complete set. There are 6 main figures in the selection, and then 2 secrets, or chase figures, I guess. And I guess I'll go ahead and introduce them to you now. You can see here I've got 16 figures. They're in various colors and types of vinyl. So as you can see here, I've got 16 figures. It did turn out that I didn't get a full set within that first 16 spins of the machine, but I did actually end up getting a full set, as I will explain in a minute. And I'd just like to show you briefly all of the characters. There's 6 characters, plus 2 secrets, so-called, basically chase figures. So a total of 8 characters that they've made into figure form. And we'll just go over these quickly. We have, of course, the C-3PO. He's got a question mark on his back here. That's pretty funny. We've got R2-D2 in a couple of different versions here. They're clear and I guess glow in the dark, I'm guessing. I haven't actually tested that. He's got an on-off switch in his back there. It's pretty funny. We've got Yoda. He's wearing a beanie of some kind. We've got Darth Vader, who is a sort of smoky, transparent color. I only got one of this guy, unfortunately. I like his smile, though. I got Princess Leia, which you can see here. Got 4 of her, even though she is one of the so-called chase figures. A couple of smoky translucent, the glow-in-the-dark. I got a gold, which is very cool. You can see some of these you can easily fit on your finger. Other ones are a little small, like C-3PO. Maybe a kid could fit their finger in there. I don't know. But I got Luke, only one of him as well. He comes with his lightsaber, which you can insert in here. I think you're going to have to either cut this more or just warm it up really well with a hairdryer or a heat gun and put it in there, but I haven't really tried that yet. I've also got a Stormtrooper. Here you can see it probably best with this color of vinyl, sort of a metallic green, which is pretty cool. And that's it for the main characters. But there's one more, and that is Boba Fett. As I said, didn't get him when they were turning the main 16 that I asked for, but even before they had done that, I had asked for the carded version that they had made, which is this. So I do have him in this carded version, which luckily is even openable. You don't have to ruin the card to open it. Now this, I say Boba Fett. All of these, of course, have sort of jokey Japanese names. This one is actually Boba Ketz, and the joke is that this is a character that the owner of Pachimon Wars will sometimes play, and he's got basically a bucket for his head, right? So in Japanese, a bucket is called baketsu, and so Bobaketsu is kind of a just a pun on that. It's pretty cute, and of course we got him there. I'll show him later on, maybe in a little more detail. I did want to show the back here, though, because this has painted versions of all of these figures, as well as their names in Japanese. And here are the Hawaiian shirts. This is the one that I got last year. I didn't get another one because, well, they don't even fit me, first of all. And it's the same basic artwork, just in a different color scheme, so I didn't get one of those. But, yeah, pretty cool. I do plan to paint these as a part of this video. So I'm going to go ahead and try and do that. I'm not going to necessarily follow what they've done here so much as follow what's in the artwork itself, which I know they were also trying to do that, but I'm going to sort of ignore this and go back to the source and try and do it myself. But should be fun. Let's go ahead and open this. I do appreciate that they did it this way so I don't have to worry about ruining the package. But yeah, here is Boba Fett's. There we are. So if we add him to the lineup here, we have all of the characters that Pachimon Wars created. And so what I'm now going to do is try and paint these. I've been using vinyl paints recently, vinyl toy paints from Vinyl Wonder. And I've really been enjoying using them. It's a challenge in some ways because I've only ever used acrylic paints in the past, and the techniques you have to use for that are different than with the vinyl paints because they're, they require you to use thinner and stuff like that. So they're quite a bit more difficult to work with in some ways, but also a lot easier I've found in others. So I'll talk more about that maybe later. But yeah, let's go ahead and see if we can get these painted up. All right, here we are back with all of the painted figures. I do need to apologize here for a couple things. One is it's actually several months later than what I was talking about in the previous video. I did paint these pretty quickly, well, relatively so, after that, but I never got back to making the rest of this video until now, and, just got kind of sidetracked. The other thing is I did try and take some in-progress video of actually painting some of these, but it was actually very difficult to do, and I didn't get anything that I really liked very well. I have, for these guys, the vinyl paint that I'm using has a lot of fumes, and it's not, it's kind of dangerous, not something I want to use in the house, so I have been doing it in a well-ventilated garage, which is fine, but it's not great for taking video, and so if I do need to do something like that, and I would like to do that, maybe for another video in the future, I'm going to have to figure out how to do that better. But for now, I just couldn't get anything that I was satisfied with. Anyway, let's take a look at some of these guys. And as I mentioned, I'm trying to recreate the colors and paint schemes used in the artwork that I showed you on the Hawaiian shirt more than anything. So, like for this guy, the Darth Vader type figure, instead of going with sort of black, glossy black, or gray, it's a sort of navy blue and black, and then we've got orange accent colors. I used an airbrush for all of these. I used my airbrush pretty extensively to get nice shading, gradients and things on here. So I don't know if you can tell very well on camera or not. I'm afraid it's not really coming through as well as I would like, but there are places where it's, got a really nice, smooth gradients that you wouldn't be able to get with a normal brush, although I did use a regular brush quite a bit as well for the detail work. So for example on here, this is one where I used a regular brush quite a bit. I like the color here of white with sort of a blue for the lines between the panels, I guess you'd say, and then we've got yellow and orange and silver. Just looks pretty cool. We've got his on and off switch, and well, Luke here of course as well. Looking pretty insane. This is another example of something that I would never normally do, but I used white and then yellow as the kind of almost shading color for this, and it gives it a very interesting look, I think, almost combined with the red, kind of a McDonaldland look, but I like it. And then we've got C-3PO here with metallic gold and then some orange for the shading and, you know, accent lines and things. We've got the Stormtrooper, which uses white, and then basically, I think for this one I used a clear dark blue, or maybe, I can't remember exactly, it's been, as I said, a few months. I think I used a dark blue, maybe combined with black, and then, you know, just kind of use that to get all this nice shading. I was pretty happy with this. Not easy to pull off at this scale. With Leia as well, it's a little hard to get these cartoony faces looking good, but I think it's not too bad, and I thought the hair came out nicely as well. Hopefully these are visible on camera here, on screen. Here's Yoda. Looking very shocked about something, I guess. And finally, probably the one I spent the most time on, at least in terms of the details, was Boba Fett. Because he's a very involved design, generally speaking. So he's got all this battle damage and stuff, and various kinds of paint. You can see it says here, beer. Let's see if I can get a good shot of that. He seems to have a beer keg on his back instead of a, you know, his jetpack. Pretty funny. So yeah, that's all of these guys all painted up. Pretty happy with how they turned out. I've got them on display in a cabinet upstairs, along with a lot of my other soft vinyl figures. I don't know as of this moment whether Pachimon Wars is actually doing this kind of remote gacha service as they were doing when I got mine, but it wouldn't hurt you to look on Instagram or maybe some other, I don't know what other services they're on, probably most of them, and, you know, just reach out to them. I think they speak English well enough where that wouldn't be a problem. So you can always ask and see if they are doing it. I wouldn't be at all surprised if they did it again if they're not doing it now. And, you know, you can get yourself some of these guys as well. Thanks very much for watching, and we'll see you again soon.